a nice debate in the main hour about, as far as pressure, what expectations we should have for Caleb. But we also got to talk about Matt Eberflus. We talked about that in the first hour too. Really Bang, Dante, and Courtney, y'all said that you feel like unless the roof caves in, y'all don't think Eberflus is getting fired. I disagree with that. I think if he don't make the playoffs, that nigga's out of there. But who do you think has more pressure in this situation? Is it Caleb Williams or is it a Matt Eberflus? I'm gonna go to Dante first. Dante, who you think has the most pressure on him coming into this 2024 campaign?
I think coming into the campaign,
okay.
it's absolutely Caleb.
Okay.
Because I agree with kind of like how we talked about, we talked about the handshake extensions and whatnot. I think Flus has a job security that we don't really know about. Like, I don't think, like we've talked about starting over and actually, having continuity and things like that. So I think he'll definitely get at least 2 years with Caleb. So with that being said, I think it's Caleb. I think, the generational talk, the weapons we've added, the fact we won 7 games last year, best situation the number one pick has ever gone into. People are expecting him to come in, make the playoffs, and look like the generational talent everyone has said he is.
Mikey, what you think about that?
I think it's 50-50. I agree with you that I think Matt Eberflus has a handshake contract agreement. He's been moving a little spicy lately. And ever since, Scott, you saw it, ever since, they kind of, that defense started to turn up, he was talking a little differently. Wild. Yeah, and, he had a little bit more confidence and bravado. And I think, we have to take this into account. And I'm going to stand on this. Year one did not count for Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles. They all agreed to tear down the roster. They all agreed to take those lumps and bruises with what that 3-13 season gave them. So in year two, when they gave him better talent on defense and a number one wide receiver, DJ Moore, they went what 7? What were we? 7-10.
7-10.
So there's no reason for Matt Eberflus to quote unquote be on the hot seat in Ryan Poe's eyes and in Kevin Warren's eyes because everything is going according to plan. Now, for me, I put a lot more pressure on Shane Waldron because you're being tasked with molding this generational or elite prospect in Caleb Williams. And I had said it earlier. Ryan Poles, I had tweeted this out earlier. Ryan Poles made the right decision for the Chicago Bears and for his career, his own personal career. Taking the number one prospect and taking the talent in Caleb Williams is the easy part. That's the fucking easy part. The hard part is developing him now. It's making sure that he ascends, is making sure that he gets better, is making sure that he has everything around him to succeed. And, I think going and getting Keenan Allen shows that. This was a little stat that I saw today on ESPN. No top 5 quarterback no rookie top 5 drafted quarterback has ever played with 2 1,200-yard receivers. You had DJ Moore with 1,364 last year and Keenan Allen with 1,243. No quarterback ever taken in the top 5 has ever had that in his rookie year. So all the talent is going to be there. It's going to be on Caleb to step in and to buy into the system and to get that connection with his guys. I would like to see him, at rookie training camp with his guys. I would like to see him, whether they take a trip to California or down here in Jacksonville where they work out, get, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, get those guys, build a rapport. But I think it really falls on Shane Waldron because Ryan Poles told you by firing Luke Getsy and that staff what he thought. He thought and by moving on from Justin Fields, he thought the offensive talent was good enough, except the quarterback needed to be better and the offensive coordinator to be better. He didn't say the head coach needed to be better, who by default was the DC. So I think there's more pressure on Shane Waldron to make sure that this marriage with Caleb Williams works and that he gets everything out of him. This ain't Geno Smith. This is Caleb Williams. So go ahead and prop him up and make the make the game easier for him because everything is there.
For the first time on this show, you guys might have changed my opinion. Not only does that not happen a lot on the show, it doesn't happen a lot in real life.
I seen you arguing with motherfuckers today. It's my goddamn Twitter.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck y'all, nigga. But anyway, I'm using my hopeful mind. Like, y'all are probably right, because that is some bear shit, and I do believe the words that you just said about him not including the Flus name in there, but I do believe there's an incredible amount of pressure on Shane Waldron that nobody's talking about, and I don't know how I feel about the Shane Waldron signing yet. Like, I feel like he was very, they scouted him well. Like, they went through the full interview process. I don't hate the process that they went through, but it does concern me a tad bit how some former players talked about him a little, not too much, but concerned me just a little bit. And just, we also never really had a great offensive coordinator in Chicago. So I don't even know what the fuck that looks like. So it's not something where I have to go through a full season of work before I know how I really feel about Shane Waldron. Because as we saw with Luke Getsy was the opening drive king. If it would have come to just scripting plays, that nigga would be Bill Walsh. Like, that's how good he was at scripting opening drives. So I had to see that, but I would hope as a fan that if this team doesn't make the playoffs, that Matt Eberflus will be on the first train smoking, especially because there's, the pressure is officially on Poles now too, because his retool is pretty much, I won't say it's done, but it's done. Like, you accumulated this roster, and you're in win mode now, so now you got to be accountable for your decisions. So if Matt Eberflus fails, ownership, Kevin Warren, are going to be looking at you. Now, I believe that he does have, at least through the extension of Caleb's rookie deal, where he has to worry about job security. But I will hope that if Matt Eberflus doesn't cut the mustard, that he gets fired. I mean, and if the offense looks good, you could maybe promote Shane Waldron. But there's even going to be guys who, like a Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator in Houston, who didn't take any jobs this offseason. They might be back on the market. They might be shit. It's other coach said Mike Tomlin only got one more year left on this deal. There's going to be other options if he gets done. But as a Bears fan, as somebody who know how the Bears roll, y'all probably right. He might have that job security that I hope he doesn't have. But I will hope that, to me, it's playoffs bust. Playoffs bust to me, and that's why I need to see it. If it's not there, I would do that. As far as Caleb, long term, Caleb has the most pressure, like, easily.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah,
like,
and I'm looking at an article from this past season in November. Seattle's 31-13 loss to San Francisco on Thursday night was the latest example of an offense that's filled with talent, but is awful on third downs, inefficient in the red zone, and sometimes has game plans that don't make sense. Coach Pete Carroll sounds fed up. He came close as he does to calling out a member of his coaching staff with his comments about Seattle's offense on Friday. We have unique talents, and we got to make sure we're maximizing that, and I feel like we're not. I feel like we're not seeing stuff. So that Shane Waldron, that legitimately concerns me. And then it says Seattle has scored just 3 offensive touchdowns the last 4 games. He said, I'm concerned about her club. I'm concerned about everything we're doing right now on offense. Last night will make you challenge everything, which is why you're asking all the questions. There's questions to be asked and answers to be found. Finding an offensive identity and sticking with it. So, this is, like I said, this is more on Shane Waldron. He was the one that was fired. Matt Eberflus wasn't fired. Justin Fields was let go. Caleb Williams is coming in. So it's on them to find a marriage that works and to find something that works for him. I think at best, Seattle's offense was a running game with 2 tight ends, bringing in Gerald Everett and Cole Kmet, who threw off play action. And we know Caleb can function that way. So it's going to be very interesting just to see offensively, because I think with Flus coming out and saying in January that he will still be calling the plays, I think he'll be able to call his defense the way that we saw towards the last half of the year. And, we got some improved talent with Kevin Byard. And if we can go ahead and add another pass rusher, I think this defense is going to be lights out. So it's going to be on the offense, and that falls on Shane Waldron.
Yeah, I'm at the point where, like, until I see an actual explosive Bears offense for like 2 seasons in a row, like, I'm gonna always have that cloud in the back. We had 2013, that great offense with Cutler, Marshall, Alshon, Matt Forte, Martellus Bennett, and Trespin's first year. That I can't remember nothing else. So, like, that type of shit concerns me for sure. But as far as, I think the pressure's on Flus this year, but long term it'll definitely be Caleb.
Paper on this player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna